Hey guys, Joseph here with Engadget. I'm looking at the LG Optimus G Pro, which AT&T just officially announced this morning. It's heading to the carrier exclusively starting next week for $199 on a 2-year contract. If you'll remember, we initially saw this handset back at Mobile World Congress earlier this year in February when it was just a Korean-only model, which we reviewed and were quite smitten with, although at the time we didn't think LG would actually bring this to the US. Now, if you can see by the naming convention, it shares sort of a heritage with the G, although the G Pro is more of a performance series where the G line is for design, and that sort of shows in this. It is not made with that sort of attention to detail that the Optimus G had with the glass back. Here you can see LG has opted for a plastic casing, similar to the way Samsung does with its Galaxy line and the Note 2, which this is sort of positioned as a direct competitor towards. However, on the Optimus G Pro, the effect is much more pleasing in hand. It's definitely more comfortable to grip, considering it is actually just a bit thinner in terms of width, and the back doesn't have that incredibly slippy feel that the Note 2 does. This is much more matte feeling. Here you can see on the back, nothing else breaks up the design except for the AT&T globe. Just above it is the 13.1 megapixel camera, so right there you know you're getting a bump up in optics from the Note 2, which has an 8 megapixel camera. Now we'll go to the front of the display, and this is sort of the star of the G Pro show. This is a 5.5-inch display, which is the same size as the Galaxy Note 2. However, the important detail here is that this is a 1080p display. LG has changed the terminology to say that it is a full HD IPS panel as opposed to the true HD IPS Plus panel on the Korean G Pro, but those are pretty much exactly the same technologies being used, just different terms. So on the inside, what do you have? You get a Snapdragon 600 processor, which if you're paying attention here to the software, it is pretty brisk. That is right now sort of the bleeding edge you can get in terms of smartphone processors. Of course, when the 800 comes out, those phones will overtake. But for now, this phone runs laps around the Note 2, and it shows. Also on the inside, the battery gets a bump to 3,140 milliamps. There's 2 gigabytes of RAM, and on the front here, you can see there is a 2.1 megapixel camera. Of course, this phone also does the dual recording that the G Pro introduced and then was very quickly copied by other OEMs. And down here at the bottom is the sort of recessed physical home button, and that ring around it is actually an LED that is color changing, and you can go ahead and preset that as you like from within the settings menu. Now we'll take a look at the preloaded software. As you can see, there's quite a bit from AT&T, but that seems to be it. LG and AT&T haven't really overburdened this with anything more than carrier apps. A couple of other things, the functions on here that LG has included, like Q-Slide 2.0, which it introduced on the Optimus G, has been updated to now include things like video, so you can go ahead, that's a multi-window support feature, email as well. And there's also something called View Talk, which will debut in the US on the G Pro and then head to other compatible handsets soon, which is basically a screen sharing device that goes over one of LG's servers in the United States. So if you have a friend or a business partner running View Talk on their handset, you can go ahead and continue your workflow. One other thing we should point out is that initially when you pre-order, you will get the flip cover that snaps on. That is also wireless charging compatible, but the standard back cover here, the removable back plate, does also support wireless charging. So right there, you have a leg up on the competition. So that's it. This is the Optimus G Pro for AT&T. It goes on sale at the end of next week for $199 on a 2-year contract. Joseph with Engadget. Thanks for watching.